I'm Emily Haravel, and this is Why We Sing. I'd like to talk for a moment about the idea of peace, specifically listening and reconciliation from times of war. I think more than any other form of singing, choral singing is all about unity. Without unity, a choir is just a group of individual voices and it clashes with itself. In order to combine those voices into a single cohesive musical expression, choral singers work very, very hard to achieve what's called ensemble, singing together as one unit, as one voice. And maybe this is why choral music is often an exhortation for peace and forgiveness and reconciliation. The choir itself is the embodiment of togetherness and cooperation. And not only do we have to sing together, but we have to listen to each other like crazy in order to do it. There's always incredible amounts of active listening going on in the choir setting. As a choral singer myself and as a director, when I think about the ideas peace and reconciliation, there are two songs that immediately spring to mind. The first is the one you're hearing now. I heard it at choir camp for the first time a few years ago. I was able to attend choir camp through middle school and high school and meet some highly talented directors, wonderful mentors who were largely the reason that I ended up in music as a field, as both a career and a vocation. And as an adult, I've had the opportunity to return and be a vocal coach in that camp. And when I did the last time, we heard this song. The first time we started to sing it in rehearsal, I started to cry. And I was thinking to myself, wow, yeah, this is a song that really speaks truth to where we often need to hear it. We are one world, one people, and we all breathe the same. That's the part that really got me. We all breathe the same. I think it's obvious when you have to work together that our similarities so vastly outweigh our differences that the constant fighting we see all around us just seems like total nonsense. And I think if the rest of the world had to learn to breathe together the way that choral singers do, to literally breathe together and work together to make a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts, that our human experience would look very, very different. There's a famous quote by Mother Teresa that reads, "If we have no peace, it is because we've forgotten that we belong to each other." And if there's one thing that is true about singing in a group and with other people, it's that you almost always find that sense of belonging, of community and support. I can't even hear that quote without thinking of the second song that comes to mind that I sang as an adult with Choral Arts Northwest called All Works of Love. It takes those words and it spins them out for 6.5 minutes into a yearning for peace and then also an affirmation that all works of love are works of peace. So maybe the reason the choral world is so obsessed with peace and reconciliation comes from a basic truth about choral singing itself. And that is that you can't open yourself up to be present and making this beautiful art with other people if you hate them. And so, in order to have the kind of emotional depth and vulnerability that the music requires, we first have to make peace with one another. I think singers are peacemakers. And our work now is to make the rest of the world learn to listen.